So I wanted to bring this story to you guys, not because of the tragedy, because the tragedy, rest in peace to the young brother and condolences out to his family. This stuff happens all too often, too often. One time is too many. But I wanted you guys to hear the story and pay attention to some of the details. Something that I noticed that was said in this story that I was kind of shocked to hear on the news, but it's something that we see all the time. So let's get into it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Now, this story is about 2 days old, so I'm not sure about any updates or if anybody's been arrested or not, but regardless, and I say that, and you'll understand why I say that in a second. But let's hit it.
Mesquite police are investigating after a 23-year-old was shot at an apartment complex and later died. It happened Saturday night. People at that complex say they tried to save his life. Fox 4's Davidson Tendry spoke to witnesses and the young man's mother.
Just for those of you who don't know, Mesquite, like a suburb east of Dallas.
David.
Yeah, Heather, Mesquite Police Department will not release to us any details about this shooting. Now, the victim's mother, she is doing some of her own investigative work, but at this point in time, it appears no arrests have been made.
Dang, that dude looking bad. Like he done lost a lot of weight. He look almost sickly. You know what I'm saying? I've done a few stories with him being the reporter, and this dude look like, anyway.
Y'all took my baby from me for no reason.
A heavy reality for Brandy Mack Gross. Her son, Camarius Mack, shot and killed outside an apartment on Franklin Drive in Mesquite overnight Sunday.
And no, there's no father in the story, so we're going to get that out the way. Don't care about that right now. I mean, who knows? Because we always holler about single mothers and this, that, and the third, and where's the dad, and choose better. But sometimes, fathers make mistakes and may end up in the prison or may end up, you know, uh, buried, or sometimes, could be divorced or something can happen to him and his life is taken. You just don't know the situation. So if I don't know the context of why there's no father in this story, I'm not going to speculate. I'm just going to leave that alone. So let's just do this. Let's start with that.
I will get justice for my son.
But them are real tears.
Promise you that.
Mack's mother said,
Now you hear what she says she gonna get justice for her son. She promises that. This woman is from the hood. She's from the streets. We know what's up.
as the 23-year-old was hanging with friends at the complex. She hears the same story a witness tells Fox 4, that her son was shot after breaking up a fight between young women. Mack's mother believes she knows who the gunman is, but Fox 4 not naming that person because they have not been charged or identified by police.
The killer is not locked up. Hey.
So y'all, and that's one of the things I want to bring up. One is that this is nothing. This is not an anomaly. Most times when something goes down, when this type of event, an incident happens on the streets, everybody knows who did it, including, like they said, she knows who did it. Why? Because people, concerned kids who don't want to snitch, don't want to talk to the police, but they'll tell his mama. They'll tell his family, hey, so and so is the one who did it. Yeah, we know who did it. These two girls, these little two ratchets, was out here fighting at 1 o'clock in the morning for whatever damn reason. Out here in the parking lot, your son out there hanging out for whatever reason, trying to break up the fight. Just don't make sense that the person that shot him was not one of the females fighting. They said it was another guy. So if that's the case, why would another guy intervene when a dude trying to break up a fight? I mean, there are details that are missing, but my point is everybody usually knows who did the shooting, but yet nobody wants to tell the people that they should tell. Now, if something happened to a family member of mine and something like this happened and somebody comes and tells me, is it my obligation or duty to go and retaliate? Should I? Because now that you don't put me in that part of it and you didn't go tell the police, now what you want me to do? So now I go and retaliate. Depends on what the crime is, depends on who the crime was committed against. I go retaliate, get my lick back, and now I end up in the penitentiary. And nobody who told me this is gonna put money in my books, not gonna come visit me. They're not gonna give me no conjugal visits, nothing like that. I'm just now. Don't get me wrong, because if this is happening to like my little girl, no, the older I get, I think differently now. I think I would go tell the police if it happens. I would anyone who tells me who did it, I would make sure they go tell the police who did it. And they need to know where he's at all. We need to go find where he lives and where his family lives. As simple as that. Need to track him down. But that's the 48-year-old Marlon. Get the police involved, because if I see the person, there's no telling what I'll do. I may just call the police. I might not. It depends on how I feel at the time and who I'm with and where I'm at.
He's home, probably watching me right now.
And all of a sudden, I heard 3 to 5 gunshots. It sounded really close.
Renee Barreo lives in the complex. The mother of 3 rushed outside to perform CPR.
I was just scared. And I just thought, like, if that was my baby, I'd want somebody to do something. I'm not just going to stand around, you know?
Mac was
Shout out to her. Concerned mother. She got kids. She's there to preserve life. She hoping that if this happens to one of her children, somebody else would do the same thing.
pronounced dead at a hospital at 1:35 a.m. Sunday. Mesquite PD confirms it's investigating the homicide, but the department has not posted details to social media, as it typically does with homicides. Fox 4 only learning about the shooting after Barreo emailed us to help.
Talk to his mom.
Wow. So this wasn't even. So they hadn't found the guy yet, and this wasn't even going to make news unless this young lady, again, shout out to her, unless she sent the email, they wouldn't even go on, even wouldn't have been a news story. Which, I mean, it happens so often, and it's sad that we've come to a society, that we're in a society where it comes to that someone gets shot, it's not a story, and people are not out there trying to find out who did it. And the community is not banding together to try to get the person off the streets immediately, pointing fingers, pointing them out to the police, to the authorities. That it happens so much that even police are like, hey, ain't nobody gonna tell us nothing. So, oh well, we'll figure it out. Because they said that they normally would put it on their Facebook page, and they hadn't done it at the time of this story was written.
Answer any questions, like, or just for my piece, like, I see his face all the time, so I just wanted to know his name, really, you know?
He was just trying to diffuse the situation.
Mac leaves behind 2 siblings, including a twin brother preparing to graduate basic training for the Army.
And we just all been making plans to go to Georgia and celebrate his brother's graduation with the military. And now we're planning a funeral before we even go to the graduation.
And as always, anyone who has any information about what may have happened regarding the shooting, you can contact Mesquite Police Department. Heather and Steve, back to y'all.
What other information do you need to know? Everybody knows who did it. I'm sure she told you who did it. I'm sure the mom told y'all who did it. What other information do you need? Well, I guess you want to know as much details as possible. So when you go and arrest a guy, you got all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. Okay, I get it. It is what it is. But man, that's a hard story, man. I can't imagine losing a child. You know, she got one child in the military. Should have sent them both to the military. I mean, hindsight, I ain't no blaming or nothing. I'm just saying that they both should have went to the military. That's what I think, that like young men, and I'm not a military dude. Please don't get me wrong, but I've also heard things, some of it true, some of it not, about going to the Army, going to the military. You don't necessarily have to go in the combat. Not necessarily. Usually those who are in combat, I think, are those who really don't have a future doing anything but going to the Army. So they end up, in the desert or whatever. But I think a lot of these young men now, especially the youngest now, because all they doing, I mean, here they all got Dracos and AKs, and deleting and you know what I'm saying, and gun playing with each other. So why don't you go ahead and just put them in the military and ship them off somewhere? I remember back in the 80s, and I remember back in the 90s. I don't know when they stopped this, but because I told you I had a cousin who was in the military because he got in some trouble, and then he got into a fight with somebody and got in some trouble, some bad. He was a bouncer somewhere, and he got in some trouble and got, went to jail, got locked up. So they gave him an option, go to court, go to trial, go to prison, or go to jail, whatever, or go to military. Chose the military. They need to give them options. I think really people like to say that I'm grown and I can make my decision. You can't tell me what to do. And I tell you all the time, yeah, people should. Even if you don't give a damn how old you are. There are people who need to tell you what to do sometimes. So yeah, you can be 18 years old, but I feel like shoot, you get out of high school. Okay, now what's your plans? You have no plans. Do you have a job? You don't have a job. Can we get into this program? You're gonna go to trade school, college, not doing either one of them? Go to military. Simple as that. Go to military. Structure, money, benefits. Go to military. If anything, do the 2 to 4 years or whatever, and then get out and do what you got to do if that's the case. But go to the military, man. A lot of these countries, they make their boys, young men, go to the military. I mean, it's about structure, and a lot of these fellas need that because they don't have that structure at home. They don't have the father figure or the grandpa figure at home who probably was in the military, fought in the war years ago. They don't have that. They don't have that structure. So they need something. So hell, send them to the military. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. Let's have an intelligent conversation. You know how we do around here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those four things cost you maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but it means the world to us here at this channel. If you'd like to support the channel financially, you can get super thanks, super chat, super stickers, or you can go to the description box. There are a couple of links there you can click on to help support the channel that way. Now, if you would like something tangible for your dollars, which a lot of people do, you can go to marlonmorale.com. You can hit the Shopify store or just simply click the products below and check out all our luxury products. We have fragrances that last all day. You have beard products, silk products, handbags, much more. Check it out. You will not be disappointed. With that being said, I'll leave you in peace and I'll see you on the other side.